Welcome to this July 21st, 2026 meeting of the Raymore Planning and Zoning Commission. Would everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, take roll. Commissioner Parker,
Present.
Commissioner Shanks, Commissioner Townsend,
Present.
Commissioner Harrison is not here, Chairman Wiggins is not here, Vice Chair Pfizer is here, Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Urquia,
Present.
and Mayor Turnbow.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we will move on. We have no personal appearances, so we will move to the consent agenda, approval of minutes from the April 7th, 2026 meeting. If anybody would like to make a motion?
Vice Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to move that we approve the minutes from our April 7th, 2026 meeting.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Any abstentions? Any? Oh, okay, okay. Like, were you refusing? Okay. Declining? Let's see, okay. Okay, we will move on to our first case, number 26014, conditional use permit for CCP WSD number 10 water tower, and this is a public hearing, so we will open the public hearing at 6:02. Would staff like to begin?
Thank you, Vice Chair. Good evening. The request before you all this evening, as you mentioned, is a conditional use permit request that is being made by the Cass County Public Water Supply District Number 10 in conjunction with their engineer, Lamper Nearson, to facilitate the request. The request this evening is for a conditional use permit to operate and construct a major utility, which in this case is a water tower proposed to be located directly to the west of the existing water tower that is on the south side of 195th Street in this area of the city. The zoning of the property currently is PUD planned unit development, and the total tract size that's in question for this proposed use is approximately 1.5 acres. Surrounding the property to the north is agricultural zoning with a farming, more agricultural use. To the south and to the west is the Raymore Commerce Center or planned unit development zoning, PUD. And then to the east is where the existing water tower is currently zoned BP Business Park with the utility use on the property in the form of the water tower. As the Vice Chair mentioned, because tonight does require a public hearing, we advertised the meeting in the July 2nd edition of the North Cass Herald and sent notices on July 3rd to the property owners and adjoining parties around this site. The property itself, as mentioned, is generally part of the Raymore Commerce Center development, but the request this evening is to approve the water tower use for the water district, and if approved, move through the process. They would then purchase a small tract of land from the developer of the Commerce Center to then own and operate the water tower on this property. The site, in terms of its zoning, was approved by the city on July 25th of 2022. And again, that was part of the Raymore Commerce Center South development where they achieved that PUD zoning. The water tower, under the Unified Development Code, the water tower is categorized as a major utility. And in your staff report is the definition from section 485, which defines how that's categorized. The use in general for a major utility is a conditional use in all of the zoning districts, including the existing PUD. So regardless of the zoning district, this is the application that would need to be filed for the construction of a water tower. The district is here tonight and they can maybe answer any more specific questions, but according to their application, they provide water service to this area of the city in the south. Their boundary extends well outside of the city of Raymore, also in rural Cass County. And in their application, the district operates 2 separate pressure zones. The request this evening is for a water tower that will serve their northern pressure zone. Specifically, and this includes, in terms of areas around the city, it will provide service in the future to areas around North Cass Parkway, currently provides service to the Venue, Saddlebrook, Dutchman Acres, Prairie View, Sendera, and the Whitetail Run subdivision. It will also provide service to Raymore Commerce Center, north and south, portions of that, future city parkland, which is further south of this area, and then also unincorporated areas that are outside of Raymore city limits. According to their application, the need for the tower is simply just to provide more reliable service for the areas that they serve. In this area, both to serve existing development and water customers and to support future development with more reliable service. In their application, or the narrative that was provided in the staff report, they outline that the height of the tower is proposed to be approximately 185 feet. I did want to point out that while that does exceed what the height requirement is for the zoning district, the UDC does exempt utility facilities from the city's height requirement. So the height of 185 feet is generally consistent with the existing tower that's adjacent to it. But I just wanted to note that while it is 185 feet, those particular uses are exempt from the height requirements of the UDC. I had mentioned earlier with the notices that we sent the mailed notices to the adjoining property owners. One was sent to the neighboring Whitetail Run HOA. We provided written notice to South Metro Fire and the Ray-Pec School District. Bridal Ridge Elementary is in somewhat close proximity to this tower, as well as the ward representatives for Ward 1. This tower, while it is in the city limits, the city does not provide any water service or any utility infrastructure for water in this area of the city, so this will not connect to anything relative to the city's water infrastructure. There is currently water mains along 195th Street that provide service to this area, so it's staff's understanding that the water tower will simply just tie into that to provide the service. Within the packet, we did provide the findings of fact for the commission's consideration. And I wanted to go over, as part of our recommendation, you'll see on the last page, we are recommending approval of the case subject to 5 different conditions, and I wanted to outline those to the commission here. First and foremost, the property will need to be platted, and so the applicant, if approved, can submit the final plat prior to constructing the tower, and staff can review that administratively to create the lot that's in question. Along 195th Street, with the Raymore Commerce Center being approved and under construction, there's currently segments of sidewalk along 195th Street on the south side. So the other condition is that they continue that sidewalk across their properties so that as development continues, either development will construct those sidewalk connections or the city can come in at a later date and build those connections out. Where the driveway is currently existing, if you're familiar with the tower, they are not proposing a new driveway onto 195th Street. They will simply tie into what's there and provide access to this parcel to the west. But there is a large tree that's kind of in the site triangle there that kind of restricts a little visibility. And so we're asking that that tree be taken out at the same time that they construct the tower. The fourth condition would be within the Commerce Center. If you've seen it, there's a landscape buffer along 195th Street. There's also some detention basins that development has provided in terms of a buffer. And so for this, for simply the portion that is on the parcel that they're asking for the approval for, we've asked that that landscape buffer be continued. There is not sufficient space on the current water tower property to continue that buffer, and so we've only asked that it be for the portion that they're asking for this evening, that landscaping be provided along the south side of 195th Street. And then lastly, on the current water tower, there is a sign, and so under the Unified Development Code to approve that, that has to be applied for through a conditional use permit similar to this evening. At this time, it's not the district's desire to put a sign up there, but if they do decide to move forward with that in the future, we would ask that they come back to the commission and the city council for a conditional use permit to obtain that approval. With those conditions outlined, staff does recommend approval of the request to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and we're happy to answer any questions. There are representatives from the district and their board here this evening if the commission has any questions with them as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do any of the commissioners have questions right now?
Madam Chair, just a clarification. David, in your report, I think when you were going over, let's see, what items was it here? Under staff comments, you were talking about the proposed water towers to support water service throughout the north pressure zone. This includes under the future city parkland site you characterized as to the south. It's actually to the north of 195th Street. So I just wanted to clarify that for anybody that might have been listening going, oh, there's a park going south of there? So
Thank
anyway,
you.
All right.
Thank you for clarifying
No
that.
problem.
Okay. Would the applicant like to say anything? They don't have to. Are they here? If not, we will move on to public comments. If any members of the public would like to speak, just come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and, try to keep it within 5 minutes. Any takers? I'm going to say no. So the public hearing is closed at 6:11. All right. Do the commissioners have any comments or any discussion on this matter? Okay. Would anyone like to entertain a motion?
Vice Chair,
Yes, Commissioner.
I'd like to make a motion that the Planning and Zoning Commission accept the proposed findings of fact in forward case number 26014, conditional use permit CCP WSD Water Tower, to establish the utility major land use at the property legally described in attachment 1, subject to the 5 outlined conditions.
I'll second.
Okay. Do any commissioners have any comments about the motion before we vote? Seeing none, all in favor? Well, that's unanimous, so that will pass, or we'll go on to this. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to read the actual motion first. Let me do that. Okay. The motion is to accept the proposed findings of fact in forward case 26014, conditional use permit CCPWSD Water Tower, to establish the utility major land use at the property legally described in attachment 1, subject to the 5 conditions that are outlined. Okay, now let's do it again. Everybody in favor of it? I was like, you were going to pause for me there. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm new at this. So it will be forwarded on to the city. We will move on to city council report.
Thank you, Vice Chair Fizer. Thank you, committee, for not changing any votes between that first and second reading. Would have made things confusing. Jonathan Zur, City Attorney, happy to provide the City Council report this evening, Vice Chair. It has been a while since you all have met. I've gone back to April 27th, 2026 City Council meeting as the last actions taken following a Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. At the April 27th City Council meeting, the East Brook at Creekmore 5th final plat was approved. That's 49 lots along Creekmore Drive between 163rd Street and Rannoch Lane. Also at that meeting, the mayor agreed to continue to serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission for another term. So thank you very much, Mayor. Appreciate having you join us each Planning and Zoning Commission. Following that, there were 2 council meetings that are worthy of note, if only for expansions of the city, and that is on May 11th, 2026, and on June 8th, 2026, we had the first and second readings successively of the annexation of 155th Street. This is first reading on the 11th. This annexes the north half of 155th Street between Kentucky and Kurzweil. That was read and approved unanimously at the May 11th meeting and for a second time on the June 8th meeting. Those are the 3 items that would be of interest. Since that time, there have been council meetings, but nothing that came directly out of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the council's consideration. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, and obviously I'm always welcome to have the mayor or Mr. Gress pipe in with any additional information they think may be important for the council to consider. Sorry,
you.
Commission.
Okay. Any questions for Zur? All right. We will move on to the staff report.
Thank you. I was reminded it's been a few weeks or months since we've met, so quite a few things that have been going on. In your packet was a department report for June. We issued 19 new single-family home permits last month, and those were spread across the Sendera development, Alexander Creek, Parkside. We had 1 remnant lot in the Skyview East subdivision, which was good to see, and the others remained in the Creekmore and Creekside Ranch neighborhood. So always happy to report that construction activity is pretty scattered across the city. And July has been another busy month this month, so I'll be looking forward to another report to you all next month. In terms of other building activity, we did get around to permitting the expansion of the Fire District Administration Building, which the Commission saw earlier this year. So it'll be good to see some construction activity going on next door. And Just in terms of some other items that I noticed, I mentioned we've issued 92 permits for this calendar year, which is about 8 more year to date than we were last year. So it's a little bit busier of a year, and I expect that to continue next month. What I also noticed there with in relation to Mr. Vogel, if any of you have had any opportunities to interact with him, he has issued 96 more code cases than he had this time last year. And so it's been a very busy time of year with grass and rain and more grass and more rain for Mr. Vogel. So just as always, as a reminder, if you have any issues in your ward or in your neighborhoods, just feel free to get in touch with him and he'll get things taken care of as quick as he can. The last item, I wanted to introduce our new administrative assistant. I think I mentioned at our last meeting, Ms. Jordan, our last administrative assistant, took a job elsewhere over on the Kansas side. And so Catherine was, I'll call it promoted because she joined the fun side of City Hall. She previously served in the city clerk's office as the assistant over there. And so we're happy to have her in our department. And you'll be seeing her at all of the commission meetings moving forward. So if the commission has any questions, we're happy to answer them, but that would conclude staff report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for staff? Seeing none, we'll move on to public comments. If any members of the public would like to comment on anything, they can come to the podium and again, state your name and address for the record. And any takers? Doesn't look like it. So, okay, we will move on then to commission member comments. We will start to my right with Commissioner Parker.
Well, it's good to be back, so I'll start with that. And I want to welcome Catherine to the team. Welcome. That's all.
Okay, Commissioner Townsend.
Thank you. Yes, good to be back and welcome to the team. I have nothing more.
Okay, Commissioner Smith.
I'm going to echo the exact same thing. So,
All right, Commissioner Urquia.
Yeah, nice to be back and welcome, Catherine.
Mayor Turnbow.
Ditto as well. But I would like to add that over the past several months, there's been a lot of advancement toward the planning efforts for the Criminal Justice Center, which the ground was acquired 4 years ago for that particular purpose. I think it's interesting how we have come to this point in that there was a lot of time and effort and planning put into this a long time ago, a lot more from a conceptual viewpoint that's occurred in the last couple of months. And there will be more from an educational perspective moving forward. I hope you'll take the advantage of looking at that material, advancing that forward for people to have a better understanding of what we're planning and preparing. As you know, a year ago, April, been about a year and a half now, we passed a sales tax for additional law enforcement personnel. And with that, we absolutely did outgrow the existing facility, which we were already kind of busting at the seams with. The 43,000 square foot facility that is being proposed on the site that was previously a tree farm next to the post office is a state-of-the-art facility that will absolutely serve this community for the next 50 to 75 years into the future, based upon our predictions for expansion moving forward. I think it's really important for the continued public safety efforts that we have here in our community. We've seen the South Metro Fire Protection District grow exponentially over the past decade or two. And now we're starting to see the same thing happen with our law enforcement personnel. And unfortunately, they've had to go out and ask for additional funding because of their growth and some of the restrictions that the state has placed upon many of the other taxing entities. We have some of the similar issues going on with us, but we also are growing enough that I think our growth still allows us for moving forward on this project for about a $31 to $35 million project, of which we already have 4.5 set aside from previous funding sources. It's a restricted fund. Actually came out of ARPA monies that we designated early on to the federal government. That's what it was going to be dedicated to. So we were prepared even that long ago to advance this notion. Now, the debate Monday night in the work session was whether or not November was too aggressive of a timeline to move forward with. I think the council was a little split on that, but everyone could agree that April will give us plenty of time to advance the project and to allow people to give additional input and to learn more about it. So, and I'm hoping that when that time comes, after the first of the year, for the council to take it up again for purposes of putting a referendum on the ballot, which will be a tax revenue referendum, tax neutral. In other words, no tax increase as it relates to our levy. And moving forward, we'll be able to get to that point and provide for a state-of-the-art, not just for our law enforcement personnel, but the courts, emergency management, dispatching, and just really serving the public in a way they've come to know and expect. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that this evening. It's probably one of the most important, if not the most important future project for the community moving forward, and hope that you'll all pay close attention to it. And if you have any questions at all, please address them with staff. Ryan Murdoch, the Assistant City Manager, has taken the lead on this project, along with the Police Chief, Chief Wilson. And so please, don't be shy about asking questions about it, because it is a well-thought-out project that I think deserves serious consideration by this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I just want to say I completely overlooked Mr. Perry. Did you have anything to add? Okay. All right, I just want to thank staff and welcome to the fun side of things here. I don't have a lot to say. We haven't been here all summer, but there have been a lot of things going on in the city for the summer. The 4th of July had like a lot of activities, and it was really, really great to see. So I always encourage people to get out and go to these events. They put a lot of work into them, and they are a lot of fun. So, excuse me. So if anybody would like to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So,
Okay, all in favor? You guys are just like messing with me today. All right, thank you, everybody.